Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to Mo Sports. My name is Mo, and this is OB.KNOWS. You can follow us on the socials by looking under Mohomutsitsitsi, or you can check Obakeng Ngobeni.
Nice.
You can look for OB.KNOWS on the socials. But we're both here to talk all things football. Welcome to Mo Sports. We've missed you. It's been a day since we've seen you. But as you saw, just the show began, we gave you a little bit of a recap of what we covered on Wednesday. And now we are carrying on with the story of football. I mean, the story that never ends. I feel like the story writes itself over and over and over again. You are tuned into channel 150 on your Open View decoder. It's Super TV, and we're still powered by Super Bets. And you can also join us on Facebook or on YouTube. If you're watching us on those platforms, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and leave us a lovely comment below. Now, as with every episode of Mo Sports, we kick it off with a little bit of trivia question for you so we can see how well you know your football. Today, here is the Mo riddle. So don't forget, if you have the answer, the number is 071 621 4746. The riddle goes like this today. It says, I'm a Zimbabwean international who made a name for himself in the PSL. I went on to play in Belgium, playing alongside Anderlecht Jali before making a big move to Anderlecht. Who am I? So there's a Zimbabwean international, played for Anderlecht and made his name playing alongside the likes of Anderlecht Jali. If you have the answer, the number is 071 621 4746. OB.KNOWS, what's coming up on today's show?
Well, we have quite a few to look up for today's show. We'll be kicking it off in South Africa as it is the weekend for the Nedbank Cup final. So we'll be delving a bit into what is to be expected in the game between a TTM and Chippa United. Yes, and we'll also be looking at the fact that Arsenal did not make it into the last stage of the Europa League, and we'll be trying to debunk what happened in that meltdown. But for now, though, let's kick it off with what's going on in the Nedbank Cup.
Nedbank Cup final is what we're talking about. Well, a lot has gone down since both these teams made it to the final. Don't forget that the favorites were knocked out by TTM. And if you look at who is in the final, you think maybe it's a game at the bottom of the league or mid-table. You know, teams that are currently at this moment fighting for their lives in the PSL are the two teams that are going to be going head-to-head in the Nedbank Cup final, TTM and Chippa United. One has had coaching woes. The other one has had boardroom woes. I'm talking coaching, every kind of woe possible. Players suing the club, coaches leaving, ownership changing, statuses being bought. I mean, if you look at TTM at the start of the season, you wouldn't in your wildest dreams have thought that this team, all the way from the north of South Africa, would be sitting in the final of the Nedbank Cup. OB.KNOWS, it's been a long journey for them. Let's talk about how they got here.
Well, it has been a long journey for TTM, you know, and it's surprising for it to culminate into a cup final. You know, you'd expect a story such as this to actually just, you know, have relegation written all over it, you know, an unsuccessful season. But I do think that, you know, at TTM at this point, they're looking at themselves and thinking, if we can step in the Premier League and also, you know, manage to win the Nedbank Cup, they've pretty much had a successful season. I mean, they've had a much better season than the Orlando Pirates, if that's the case, because they can actually go to Africa. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be very interesting to see what TTM can actually do tomorrow. But I'm very happy to see that, you know, they finally got to that place, because if you do remember, Dr. Abram Sillo, when he took over the team, he did say that, you know, he wants a top 8 finish and he does want, you know, to win the Nedbank Cup. At least one of those boxes he can actually take. So we'll wait and see if they can actually, you know, put in the performance. But on the other hand, with the Chippa United, I mean, also had, you know, a lot of politics as well within the boardroom with the coach, you know, as well, Luke A. Mel trying to be brought into this team as well, you know. So a lot has happened in both camps, but I do think that TTM still stand above, although, you know, the league position is pretty much the same place, but I do think that TTM still stand above to win this cup.
I mean, if you think about it, Chippa United started this whole cup run with one coach. In the middle, they had another coach, and now they're finishing off with the third coach of the season. It's been quite a long journey for them, but let's see how the journey went by going on the website and then comparing how they both these teams made it to the final. Don't forget to SMS Super TV to 30978 if you want to find yourself joining us on this journey to Super Stats website. Let's go to it. Let's go show you what's going on. So OB.KNOWS, if you don't mind, let's scroll down. Let's go see how it went down for these two teams in their journey to the final. So let's start off in the quarterfinals and see how they made it to this point, because you know they're in the final, but how do they make it here? So as you can see, Richards Bay FC at this point, for me, were the team that had the better form, that had the need to win the Nedbank Cup, and they were sitting there in the second division. Not only that, they were facing a Chippa United that at the time was going through a coaching change, Dance losing his job and all that stuff, but they managed to go through Richards Bay that was sitting in the second division. And then there's Pretoria Callis playing Cape Town All-Stars, and then there's Black Leopards losing out to TTM. Both those teams now occupying the bottom of the PSL, and then Sundowns saw away Orlando Pirates. Let's go to semi-finals over and see how it went down from there. You get to the semi-finals, a different story. There's Pretoria Callis. They were facing Chippa United. Some would say this was the easier draw between the two. I mean, you'd think that the PSL side would go through in the semi-final, but looking how they went through, very narrow, 1-0 win. That's how narrow it was for Chippa United to go through to the next round. But looking below them, TTM putting... Hey, guys, do you still see this result and think maybe someone's playing a joke on you? That's how you should feel about this result. I mean, this was a TTM that are sitting in the playoff spot of the PSL. I mean, the relegation playoff spot, and they managed to beat a Sundowns that are sitting top of the table, that was sitting good in Africa, top of their group in Africa. This was a Mamelodi Sundowns that teams in Africa were fearing, but TTM, with all their woes, all their players suing them, the coaches, all the coaches leaving, coming in, deals that we got a coach today, he left tomorrow, we got him back. They managed to beat Sundowns on penalties, and they found themselves now in the final. So that's how the journey looks to this point. So OB.KNOWS will have to then decide if basically are we going to then put our money on Chippa United, or we're going to put our money on what's happening in with TTM.
Look, I want to put my money on TTM. I want to put my money on TTM. It'll be the first time I ever put my money on TTM, but I feel very confident with putting it. I mean, I just saw the performance that they gave against Kaizer Chiefs in midweek, and I do think that, you know, it was not a fluke. You know, it was not a fluke of a performance, because we've seen them play well a couple of games, you know, throughout the season, but just luck not being on their side most of the times and not picking up those 3 points, you know, when it mattered most. But I do think that, you know, in terms of the squad that they have overall, the players are in good form. I mean, you look at who they have in goals. Washington Arubi, a goalkeeper who's made a great name for himself in the PSL with TTM this season. I mean, yes, he has been in the same situation with the likes of Tugs, you know, during his earlier days. But right now, he stands as one of the best players that TTM have at this point, and he's proved himself, especially, you know, starting from the penalty shootout they had with Sundowns, went on this recent game. They also played against Kaizer Chiefs, so he's been a very, very integral part of that game. So I do think that once you have a goalkeeper who's in very good form, it's very easy for him to, you know, to be able to communicate and marshal that backline, because if you're a backline and you know that your goalkeeper is doing so good, it's very easy for you to trust and feel comfortable with whatever choice or decision he's giving, or instruction he's giving you to make. So I do think that, you know, TTM, they're very solid from the back, and going up front to the likes of Thabo Mnyamani in that team, Ndlondlo, who, you know, is a very good ball carrier of that ball as well. So I do think that they have an overall great squad. I'm just waiting for Tukelo Ranti to start ticking in at the front, and then maybe we might see a different TTM, you know, the TTM that scores a whole lot of goals.
All right, with that being said, let's get ready to go to the NFD and see what's happening in terms of the promotion to the PSL. Don't forget, the NFD is the National First Division, and they lie just below the PSL. So teams that make it through there go on to play in the PSL. That's if they also win the playoff. I mean, there's automatic spots, but there's also playoff spots, so you have to always be conscious of that. Let's go to the website. Let's go see how it goes down. OB.KNOWS, let's go and navigate to the NFD. So we start off by going to the menu button. We go to soccer. We scroll. We look for Africa, OB.KNOWS. And then once we get there, we search for South Africa. As you can see, there's the other African countries, your Algerians, your Angolas, your Cameroons, but they're below Senegal, there's South Africa. And then we have to look for the National First Division. And then once we arrive there, we look at the top 6. Now, Richards Bay sitting top at this moment in time. They're sitting on 45 points at this time. Royal AM is sitting on 44 points. They're sitting second. Don't forget, Royal AM made headlines for all the wrong, right reasons. And then as you can see, is TS Sporting. They're sitting on 43 points. So those are the 3 teams that are still eligible to go play in the PSL. And then lying just out of those spots is your Skukune United. They're sitting just 2 points behind TS Sporting. Cape Umoya is sitting 3 points behind TS Sporting. Then JDR Stars level on points with Cape Umoya. And then Free State Stars is sitting there in 7th. Let's go down, OB.KNOWS, and see which teams will be joining us here in the humble ranks of South African football. As you can see, Cape Town Spurs are sitting there in 50th. They have 27 points at this point in time. And then there's Pondo Chiefs. They're sitting all the way down there in 16th. So there's still 1 point between Steenberg United and Cape Town Spurs. So there can still be a little bit of movement in that regard. But Cape Town All-Stars at this point in time, they're looking safe. But 1-2 losses might actually get them back into trouble. OB.KNOWS, let's put it away. Let's talk about Richards Bay. You saw they made it to the quarterfinals of the Nedbank Cup, and they failed to beat Chippa United, meaning that they failed to advance to a little bit further. Do you think they're ready for the PSL?
Look, if we have to take, they played a game against Orlando Pirates, and I think that in that game we saw, a side that was very confident in putting the ball down on the ground. A side that is very unusual as well, especially for the league they're playing in. You might expect them to be playing on some, patchy fields, but they still make their game work, and they put the ball down very well. They've got some very good players, intelligent players at that, So I do think that if they can manage to actually win the NFD, then we could see them in the PSL actually, putting a stake for themselves. So it'll be very interesting to see how, the NFD does boil down towards the end. But I think the top 6 teams in the NFD still all have a chance of winning, the NFD. Never mind the playoff, but still winning. So the gap is still there with some 4 games left in there. I do think that there's going to be a lot of action though.
All right, so let's see who's playing in the NFD this weekend by going back to the website and looking at the fixtures before we go on to go look at what's happening in Egyptian football. So to the website we go one more time so we can see who is playing who. So we know to the fixtures we go. Let's scroll down. As we can see, Kukune United in action against Cape Omoya. Royal AM is facing TS Sporting. Very interesting top of the table clash there. University of Pretoria is going to be facing Jomo Cosmos with Utangati playing Free State Stars, and then Cape Town Spurs having to play Pretoria Callies. And then if we go down, Richards Bay is in action against JDR Stars. Cape Town All Stars will be facing Steenberg United, and Polokwane will be facing Pondo Chiefs. Don't forget, Pondo Chiefs sitting bottom of the table, so Polokwane will be favorites to win that one. But let's put the website away and get ready to go talk about what's happening in Egyptian football. All right, so things have not been going well for Al Ahly recently. They just picked up their first loss in the league not so long ago, and they managed to drop points again when they got a chance to actually close the gap on themselves and Zamalek. But now we know it's time for us to talk about the Cairo Derby.
Yeah, look, it's coming at a very important time of the season. I mean, we're looking at the form of Al Ahly. Al Ahly haven't been in tremendous form. Not the form we expected them to be in, coming out of African football and with the games in hand that they had, So it's not exactly what we thought we'd see, a bit of a stuttering form to say the least. But I do think that at this point, coming towards pretty much the middle of the season, I do think that this clash comes at the right time for them. I mean, there's, they're playing against Al Ahly, against Zamalek, and then following that is the game against Sundown. So I do think that they need to pick up some confidence in these next few games, because I don't think a Sundown side is going to come to Al Ahly and be friendly. I do think that Sundowns will be the players themselves. Forget about what the coaches put together, but the players will be trying to prove themselves that they are better, they are very good. Besides, without having Pito Musimani in the helm, so I do think that Sundowns are going to come and give a good fight to Al Ahly. So they'll be looking, of course, Al Ahly to say that they'll be looking to pick up confidence in the game against Zamalek before they play Sundowns.
It's going to be a tough round of fixtures, looking at the fact that you have to play domestic football, excel at it, and then go back and play in Africa and excel at that. Because don't forget that the start of this season, they won a treble. They were picking up every trophy available. That's the team of the century, Al Ahly. And now, basically going into this, if Pito Musimani picks up anything less, he's going to be blamed, he's going to be shunned, and people want to say, look, we said he was not good enough, we knew he couldn't do it. And now looking at basically COVID-19 gave football a break, Obinos. I mean, teams got to sit at home for 2 to 3 months, refreshing their players. And when they came out of the whole lockdown situation, they were refreshed. Yeah. They had time to rest. Looking at the schedule at the moment, I mean, you're playing a league fixture, and then midweek you're playing in the continental competition, and you're looking at who is in the final of the UEFA Champions League. I mean, Pito must be thinking to himself, if I'm going there again next year, I have to then prepare for either a Thomas Tuchel masterclass or Pep Guardiola masterclass. So it's going to be a situation where he must be counting his ducks and putting them in a row and thinking to himself, look, if I'm going to play Zamalek, was sitting on top of me, I have 2 games in hand, I need to win this one so I can close that gap up. And if I'm going to go play Mamelodi Sundowns and repeat the heroics of last season, I'm going to need to have a team that's solid, and not only that, a game plan that's solid. Let's go to the website, let me show you what we're talking about. So when we get to the website, we see this situation right here. Zamalek are sitting on 20 points. I mean, they're sitting on 20 games played with 44 points. They're sitting top of the table. But look at the form of both these teams in the last 3. I mean, you're looking at 2 draws and a win for Zamalek, while Al Ahly have a win, a draw, and a loss in their last 3, which shows you when Obino says that a little bit of stuttering form coming into this fixture, it definitely did. I mean, they dropped points on 2 occasions when Zamalek also dropped points, so that gap could have been closed a long time ago, but Al Ahly are leaving it late, and it might end up biting them in the future. They must ask PSG about that. Pyramids are sitting 3rd right now with 34 points to their name, and right now they're sitting a whole 6 points behind Al Ahly, so they quite content with getting Confederations Cup football again next season and doing what they did this season. So, Obinos, let's put this away. Let's talk one more thing about this whole situation. Do you see Pizzo pulling off a double at least this season?
Well, look,
It's a big question, I know, Obi knows, but it's something that we need to address. Guys, let's paint a picture of you. When Pizzo arrived at Al Ahly, it looked like he was going there just to collect trophies because everything was done for him. He had already won the league. He was already in the final. He was in the final of everything. He was just going to pick up these trophies. And people will say, look, it's not his team. He didn't build it. He didn't prepare them. All he did was just make sure that he was caretaker for those last few games. So right now, Obi knows that hurdle standing in his way. Can he pull it off again? Can it at least be a double?
Look, if he's going to go for the double, he needs to really focus on this league. Because right now, Zamalek are 4 points ahead of him. He's got 2 games in hand. A win this week on Monday would be very big for his team. It would give them, a big leap in terms of, the title chase because they'll have 2 games in hand still, but they'll be 1 point behind Zamalek. So I think it will give them a bit of a bridge ahead of Zamalek. So maybe the league, they still very much, have it in control. But when we're looking at what's going on in CAF, in CAF, they still got Wydad to look out for. They still have a Mamelodi Sundowns to get past firstly. So, there's a lot that they still need to get through. Even a possible Simba, should Simba, get past Kaizer Chiefs. So I do think that there's a lot of competition for Pito Mosimane, especially with the team that's not looking like it's at its best. It's not looking, he's not running away with the league title. So it just shows us that how close it is with Zamalek that side. Also showing us how close it is with all the African sides. It's not like he had a clean run, in the group stages. He did start as well in the group stages. So I don't think it's easy for us to say that, he will go for the double. But I do think that he still has the quality in that side. If he can just get them going for these very important next few games, I think we might have a different conversation next week.
Wow, okay, let's go for a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what's happening in Spanish football, French football, and later on, we talk about Arsenal, our favorite club.
You are watching Super TV, Open View, channel 150.
I am super. I am new. I am daring and spontaneous. I make my dreams come true. I am super creative. I am created to create. I am a gamer, a super fan, a spectator, a couch coach. I take opportunity. Gluza, but I siyaqhubeka. I am responsible. I am a place of joy, a place of hope, a game changer. I am freedom. Never before have you seen this. A winner despite the odds. Strus God, uzokwala. No Gilignora, star, sama super.
You're locked into Super TV. Only on OpenView, channel 150.
Welcome back to Mo Sports. Now, if you're just joining us, we've missed out on a whole lot. We've covered everything to do with African football. I'm talking the PSL and the Egyptian Premier League. But now we're moving on to what's happening in Spanish football. Now, if you're a big fan of the Laureus Awards, you will know that Ansu Fati was nominated for one of the breakthrough stars of sports in general, but unfortunately didn't win the award. He was one of just a few footballing features at the award ceremonies, including Bayern Munich winning team of the year for their heroics and picking up 6 trophies. Who knows? Did you count that these guys won 6 trophies last season? In their 121 years of football history, this is the first time they won 6 trophies in one season, and that made them team of the year. I was so excited coming to Mo Sports today. I was like, Obi knows finally can now tell us how proud he is of Bayern. But before we do that, let me give you the Mo riddle, and here it is. So you can submit your answer. Now, if you know the answer to the Mo riddle, the number is 071 621 4746. Now, once you say that number, then the name Super TV, you can submit. Basically, also when you're watching Super Beats and you're loving what you see on screen, you can say, oh, my favorite DJ, or you can talk to your favorite presenters, or you can submit your answer to the Mo riddle. As you can see here, you can read it for yourself. But now, let's get to the business of what we're here for. Now, Obi knows Laureus Awards, doing what all the footballing award ceremonies could not do, crowning Bayern Munich the team of the year. And not only that, Robert Lewandowski was almost men's sports figure of the year, but unfortunately he lost out to a tennis player. So let's talk about Obi knows. How do you feel about Bayern Munich? Do you think that they got their just deserves in the end?
I think yes, they got the justice.
Yeah.
More especially Hansi Flick. I mean, you do know that I'm so against Jurgen Klopp getting that Manager of the Year award, but hopefully, like you did say, hopefully, next year Hansi Flick will receive his award, because I feel like, what he has done at Bayern Munich, and over the period of time that he had, I mean, things could have collapsed. I mean, it was a change of coaching, mid-season, they weren't really performing very well in their league, they were not in great form,
Yeah.
And I think with Hansi Flick stepping into, Niko Kovac's position, he managed to change up a few things, and it worked like a charm, so I do think that what Hansi Flick has done at Bayern Munich, it won't be done for a very long time, and, despite the fact that it is Bayern Munich, 6 trophies. When is he going to do that again? And with Hansi Flick leaving, I think this was the best send-off for Hansi Flick. Without him getting that Manager of the Year award, I think it's the best send-off for him.
All right, let's move on and talk about what we're here to talk about, which is Spanish football. We're talking about La Liga. That's the reason why I mentioned Ansu Fati, because when I think of Barcelona, I think of that young man. What a brilliant player he is. But let's talk about the man of the moment. We're talking about Luis Suarez versus Lionel Messi. You would have never thought you'd hear that before he moved to Barcelona. But now, the one is at Atletico Madrid, the other one's at Barcelona. And right now, they're getting ready to square off. I mean, we've been building up to this game for a whole 3 weeks. We've been excited about this one. But this game has a lot of significance at the top of the table in terms of the points. If Atletico Madrid lose it, they open the door up for Real Madrid, who have just recently been knocked out of the Champions League and will be looking for a trophy themselves. A Barcelona that has no other option but to get this trophy to at least have a double this season. We're talking about two teams that are desperate for trophies, OB.KNOWS, and Atletico Madrid slip up this weekend. It's over. I mean, when I see one hell of a race to the end.
Yeah, it's going to be a big race to the end, and I do think that the team that wins it tomorrow is the one that's going to get the edge. And I think that bit of edge is what Lionel Messi was trying to get for his Barcelona teammates. I mean, as you can see on the graphic, there says Barcelona under investigation, and that is simply because Lionel Messi earlier on this week, he invited his teammates over to his house for a barbecue, and of course, with the the coronavirus protocols and all the limitations that you have, they're under investigation by the Catalan government. And for the fact that it's the Catalan government, I don't think there's going to be punishment that's going to happen before the end of the league season. I do think they'll wait for whatever period it is until the league season is over. But with the whole thing of giving them an edge, I do think that it could work for Barcelona. I mean, bringing players in together, sitting around, having a bit of a team building exercise, having chats outside of football. It can really boost a group of people. So hopefully it does work for them. I mean, they play against a very tough Atletico Madrid, and like I said, the winner of this game obviously has the say towards the end of the season. So it's a big game. Suarez also needs to show up for Atletico Madrid, but I do think that Barcelona will feel the need of going for this game because they come a long way in trying to cover the point gap between themselves and Atletico Madrid, and it's all come down to this match. And it's a big one.
It is a big one indeed. Now, don't forget that Real Madrid got knocked out by Chelsea in the Champions League. But a little bit of history being made in the process because Chelsea might be writing history as we speak. Chelsea might be the first football club to simultaneously hold the women UEFA Champions League title and the men's UEFA Champions League title. Both their women's and men's team are in the Champions League finals, and we'll have to wait and see if they both win it, what history we made from that. But let's go to the website, let's go show you what's going on. And I know a lot of people will be saying, I want my club to be first. Liverpool fans, your club is second division in women's football. Let's talk about what's happening in terms of La Liga. Atletico Madrid right now is 76 points, and so they have 76 points at the top of the table. Below them, there's Real Madrid of 74, level on points with Barcelona now. Mathematically, as you can see, if Atletico Madrid stumble against Barcelona, even if it's a draw, it just puts them just in reach for the teams below them. I mean, if Real Madrid pick up a win, which we'll assume they will after we look at the fixtures, they will then basically go up from 74 to 77 points. And if Atletico Madrid pick up a draw against Barcelona, they go to 77, which makes them level with Real Madrid, and then Barcelona will be there just 2 points behind that team. So it'll be a big race to the end. But if they drop points, then it opens up more of a chance for Sevilla to make up the loss from last weekend and be able to get within contention again and make this a 4-horse race. Let's go to the fixtures. Let's see what Mo is talking about, OB.KNOWS. Right there. So as you can see, Sociedad is kicking it off against Elche. That's today. But tomorrow, Alaves is facing Levante with Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid being the highlights of the weekend. And Cadiz will be taking on Huesca, the team that's trying to escape relegation and prove us right here on Mo Sports. Athletic Bilbao will be facing Osasuna. Scroll down over nose. Getafe will be facing Eibar. Valencia will be facing Valladolid. Villarreal will be facing Celta Vigo. And Real Madrid will be facing Sevilla. So it's an all top 4 clash this weekend. I mean, if you look at it, Real Madrid face Sevilla, while Atletico Madrid face Barcelona. That top 4 is all in action. So I don't know why you should be planning to go out this weekend, unless if you're going out to go to your boys' place to go watch the game. For you ladies, going to girls' place to go watch the game. So it's up to you. Where are you going to watch this game? I mean, you should let us know. But let's carry on and let's go to French football and see what's happening there. Welcome back. Now let's talk about what's happening in French football. If you haven't been following it, well, right now Lille are sitting top of the table with PSG below them, with Monaco in their top 4, and there's Lyon sitting in 4th. And Lyon versus Monaco played last weekend. Unfortunately, Obinos, it was a game that didn't end so well because there was a lot of fights at the end. But let's talk about Lille, Obinos. We talked about their boardroom fiascos. I feel like right now in world football, after COVID, I don't think of a league or a team that didn't have a boardroom fiasco. I mean, you look at what's happening in England. They want the Glazers out, and me and Obinos were talking about this 3-generation rule that has been put out, that they say the first generation will build it, the second generation will maintain it, third generation will ruin it. But it's looking like the second generation, when it comes to Manchester United, of the Glazers, because the man who actually initially brought them into Manchester United has now passed away, but his sons are left there, and everybody wants them out. Obinos, let's talk about French football. Let's not go that side. Let's talk about Lille.
I think Lille are in a very good position, and they get the chance, obviously, to set the paces this weekend if they can beat Lens, a team that they already played earlier on this season and won a 4-0 by a 4-0 margin. So I do think that mentally and with terms of confidence, they have it. They have a hold over Lens. Lens currently sit in 5th place as well. So it's gonna be very an entertaining game because Lille are a team that over the season we've been saying they're probably gonna win it. They're gonna give us a different look on French football, cancelling out the whole Farmers League thing, also stopping PSG from winning a 9th title as well. So it's going to be very important for Lille to get the 3 points, tonight. And I do think that, they have it in the bag if they can get the 3 points, because only about 3 games left in the league. So I do think that if they get the 3 points today, they pretty much have the job important.
Important, but the thing is, Mauricio Pochettino, the other day I did say, did you think that Pochettino could do it against Pep Guardiola? I forgot, guys, that's on me. I forgot that Guardiola was once knocked out of the Champions League by Tottenham Hotspur. That was the season I think they went on to go play against Liverpool in the final, but unfortunately this time it was not to be. Obinos, every player in that team, I'm talking your Kylian Mbappe's, your Di Maria's, everybody in that team has won this title over and over and over and over again. It's one of those things, it's just a formality. I mean, Thomas Tuchel didn't get fired for not winning that title. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That title is not so significant. I think, Obino, what I'm trying to ask you is, looking at the gravitas of the Champions League, this is a beaten and battered PSG. Do you think they go into this round of fixtures, they go in there and they want to go get this title just to save their blushes? Because at this point in time, Obino, we've looked at their season, it's been very dismal from a team that's this big. I mean, in the French Cup, they went there. Now they're not in the contention for the Champions League. Now they're sitting second in their own domestic league. Do you think it's a trophyless season for PSG?
Well, it won't be a trophyless season. I mean, they did win a trophy earlier on this season, but it wasn't obviously a significant one. Also being Pochettino's, first trophy as a manager as well. But look, in terms of the league, they don't have it in their hands. All they can do is win the last remainder of their games, which looks very possible with the fixtures they have at hand. So, if they drop it in that terms, or if Lille don't win today and they also don't manage to win in the next, the remainder of their 3 games, then it will be all for them to blame. But I do think that they don't have it in their hands right now. Lille are, of course, the ones who are at the top of the table, and they're looking the much better outfit. But we have to wait and see what happens towards the end. But I don't think that they have it in their hands, and I don't think they will lose more games. I think they will be, trying to go for this title, but it's really not in their hands at this point.
Obinos, can you navigate to the website so we can make our bets? We don't want to actually look at the league table. What we want to do, straight to the bets. We want to do La Liga bets, and we want to do Ligue 1 bets. So Obinos just navigating for us. And then don't forget to SMS Super TV to 30978 so you can also access the Super Bets website. If you're wondering how it looks like, this is it. So Obinos, let's go into that. Let's scroll down, Obinos, to French football. Let's click on Ligue 1, and then let's go choose Lille. Let's click on Lille. I think they have to win this game. They don't have a choice. And then let's go down. Do you want to go for Lyon versus Lorient?
Yeah, I think Leon will take it.
Or then Boudoir versus Nent?
Look, let's go for a draw, yeah.
Let's go for a draw. Okay, that's how we're gonna go for it for now. Knows. Let's make our best slip and let's put 100 rand on it, and then let's go to the next one. You put in 10 rand.
Yeah.
Try to make 96 rand. knows. Shasha's not here. Knows. You're in control. Feel free. Okay. All right, press OK there. And then let's scroll down to the other one. knows. Let's go look at what's happening in Spanish football quickly. Boom, Spain. Spain is at the top. It's at the top next to England. There we go. Let's scroll up. knows. The big game of the weekend is what we care about. Atletico versus Barcelona. knows. Please respect me. Put a draw on it.
Do you think Barca draw?
I think it's a draw. I'm looking at like no team here between the two of them wants to take the L. Or let's give it to Atletico Madrid. Let's say Atletico Madrid are good enough to pick up a result and become the champions by the end of the season. Let's put it on away, knows.
Sure.
knows is not buying my scale. I'm okay, knows. I won't lie, I saw the odds. That's why. Huesca versus Cadiz. We can trust Huesca to win this one, knows. 114 cents. I mean, Huesca the favorite?
Yeah.
You lie.
Weird.
Let's put it on Huesca, knows. Let's just do that. And then Athletic Bilbao, we can put it to Athletic Club to win this game. And then...
I think they draw this.
Okay, put the draw there. And then Alaves versus Levante, knows. And then we have to do Sociedad and Elche real quick.
Skip. I'll come here and I do this.
All right, and then what about that one? Guys, while knows is decided, let's take a break. And when we come back, we carry on with the Serie A and the Premier League. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
You are watching Super TV, Open View, channel 150.
What does consistency do? According to the Super TV team. Play with us consistently. SMS Super TV to 30978 and join us in playing Crazy Time every Monday at 2:30 p.m. only on Super TV, Open View, channel 150. You're locked into Super TV, only on OpenView, channel 150.
Welcome back to Mo Sports. Now, just a friendly reminder that if you're playing indoor soccer, you're not a professional. Sometimes you could play 25-0. It's okay. It's okay. You're playing for fun. You're playing socially. But welcome back to Mo Sports. You're tuning to channel 150 on your Open View code at Super TV, powered by Super Bets. And if you're joining us through Facebook or YouTube, welcome to the show. Don't forget to hit the bell notification, subscribe, and leave us a lovely comment below. As tradition, I'm supposed to give you the Mo riddle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you read it for yourself. But at the same time, don't forget the number where you can submit your answer is 071-621-4746. Now, once you say the number, you can send your messages to all the presenters on the channel, and you can go on and submit your hearts, flames for the DJs on Super Beats. It's up to you what you do with the number, but just be very careful not to misuse or abuse it. And don't forget, while you're on your phone, to SMS Super TV to 30978, because once you've done so, you get the registration link and you can start the registration process to become a member of Super Bets. But it's time for us to talk about Italian football. I mean, all that has been said about Italian football is that right now Juventus has been dominating for a good decade, but that decade is now over. A new decade has now begun, and Inter Milan sitting top of the table and looking looking like champions because they are official champions. But Atalanta, the team that Obi knows was the outlier when it comes to football in the last couple of years. I mean, they're a success story. Just 3 seasons ago, we're talking about them being in the Champions League for the very first time. But now they are a stable top 4 team.
Yeah, they're a stable top 4 team, and you have to give props to the coach Gasperini there. He's done a very good job. I mean, so well that Tottenham are looking at him, to come in and fix what's going on at Spurs, which I don't know if it's going to happen. But anyway, the team that he's put together is so brilliant. I mean, it's a team of rejects as well. You look at the man in your picture there, the number 9, Luis Muriel. He tried his luck at AC Milan, and it didn't really work out. So I think right now that he's found his feet in Atalanta colours, I think he's proved himself to be one of the best strikers in Italy right now. So the team is looking very solid. They're sitting second right now. Of course, it's far to say that it's far from confirmed that they'll actually finish in that spot. Looking at how tight things are in terms of the top 4 spots in Italian football, but I do think that they've got the quality squad to be able to push themselves through. I mean, it's the past 2-3 seasons they've been in the Champions League. I think it's something that they're so used to now, and it's something that right now it's one of the first things they need to accomplish in a season. They need Champions League football, and I think at this point, who can fault them? I mean, they look fit in it. They've done so well in the Champions League. They're not a team that just falls out in the group stages. I mean, I think they've fought very hard to be where they are. So I don't see it slowing down, especially this season. I think they continue with what they're doing right now. I think they actually qualify for the Champions League next season. Whether it's 2nd or 4th, I still think they qualify either way.
Obi brings up a big topic I want to actually address quickly, which is the UEFA Champions League. It's starting to look like a competition of English football. It looks like the English Cup at this moment. Because if you think about it, for the past few seasons, there's been more English teams in the finals than anyone else. You look at the Europa League, you look at the Champions League. Now, let me put into context for you, Obi. In the 2000s, we're talking about the year when Liverpool were in the final twice, which was 07 and 05. We're talking about Chelsea being in the final twice, winning it once. We're talking about, winning it in 2012. We're talking about Manchester United being in the final twice, being beat by Barcelona on both occasions. On one occasion, and then they beat. So if you look at the history of the Champions League in the 2000s, you look at a Manchester United that made it to the final twice, won it once, lost Pep Guardiola. You're looking at the 2010s. This is the same Manchester United, but they featuring in the Europa League. They won it under Jose Mourinho. So you're looking at the dominance of the Champions League. You look at the dominance of the Europa League. You're looking at Spanish and English domination, German domination in there with what happened with Jurgen Klopp and Bayern Munich, both being 2 German clubs playing in that final. But we haven't seen Italian clubs in the final in a while. The last team I think did that was Juventus, and they actually went on to lose it when Real Madrid was running rampant and winning 3 in a row. So, Obi, I'm asking you this because we're looking at an era where Italian football is coming back into the party. Yeah. But being in the top 4 in Italian football doesn't quite mean that you're going to excel in the Champions League. It's more of a group stage, knockout, get knocked out. So do you think that it's going to improve as time goes by? Do you think this decade we're going to see a lot more Italian clubs coming to the fore, especially after what Conte just pulled off?
Look, we'll have to wait until we see next season what happens. I think Italian football, yes, it has been quiet for quite some time, and the last time an Italian club actually won it was with Inter Milan, and look who was there, Jose Mourinho. And the same Jose Mourinho is now stepping back into the helm in the Italian league with Roma. Not saying that he's going to miraculously turn Roma into a Champions League side, but what I'm saying is that it is coming on on the up and up, and I do think that we expected Juventus to possibly win it with Ronaldo joining the team, but we're actually seeing now how far off the Italian teams are, from the English sides and the Spanish sides when it comes to continental football. But I do think that they're not far off from it. I do think that next season, with Antonio Conte not focused so much on the Scudetto, he might be able to focus a lot more on the Champions League and taking the team a bit further. So I think Inter Milan are a team to look out for the next coming season. But in terms of the Juventus, the Atalantas, I still think they're still a bit far off from the Spanish sides and the English sides.
But Robin was talking about Conte. The last time he won the Champions League was as a player at Juventus, but he hasn't been able to pull it off as a coach, which is something, because now when you think about it, the reason I'm asking this question is that if you look at how the monies are split in terms of the Champions League, TV rights play a big part of that. Because for English clubs, the TV rights basically are split based on which teams are still playing in the competition. So if it's like 4 teams in your country, then you guys want to split the TV money 4 ways, going stage by stage. So you're looking at 2 English sides in the final. and they get the most money because of the TV deal that they have. So you're looking at Spanish football. I mean, even when Real Madrid are winning it, they weren't getting as much money as Man City, who came out in the round of 16. So right now, it looks like the money that is being made from Champions League football is going to the bigger juggernauts, your English clubs. I mean, Juventus make more money than Real Madrid just based on the fact that they get further than anybody else in their domestic competition in the Champions League. So it's starting to look like a lot more countries. I mean, you look at what Portugal was able to pull off this season with Porto and all that. But I see OB.KNOWS getting stressed by times. Like, this conversation about Champions League is not why we're here. Let's go to the website. Let's go see what's happening in terms of the standings at the moment. So as you can see, Inter Milan sitting top of the table. They're sitting on 82 points. They're done, dusted with the league. I feel like they came out of the Champions League to focus here, and they've been successful. If you look at the moment, Atalanta sitting in second right now, level on points with the three teams below them, which is AC Milan, Juventus, and Atalanta. They're all sitting on 69 points. And then Napoli sitting on 67 points, with the Lazio sitting on 64. Roma in dire need of new leadership, and it's coming in the form of Jose Mourinho. They're sitting seventh, and they might have to play a playoff to get into European competition. But look at all those spots that are looking like Europa and Champions League spots. It's going to be very interesting for Italian football next season. Let's go down OB.KNOWS. And if you look at them, all of those 7 teams, big names in their own right in Italian football. But all the big names are now starting to find themselves in the wrong places. You're talking about your Udineses, you're talking about your Genoas, your Fiorentinas, your Torino sitting too close to relegation. Benevento, Parma, Crotone all sitting in the relegation zone. So at this moment in time, it's not looking very positive for them. OB.KNOWS, do you mind if we put these teams away so we can go talk about English football?
Yeah, well, there's a lot to talk about in terms of Arsenal. So.
All right, let's go to the English game and let's go see what's happening there. All right, so in the English game, Liverpool are sitting outside of that top 4, and you have your Chelsea that's sitting in the... You know what Liverpool will be happy about?
What?
Liverpool can now relax because in the final, they're guaranteed to have an English winner. And not only that, in the final, they already have an English Manchester United that might also forfeit their qualification. So we might see, for the first time in a while again, an unprecedented 5 teams in the Champions League with, like, you know, it's starting to look like, that's what I'm saying, it's starting to look like English clubs are putting more and more and more names into that hat when it comes to European competition. Because 2 teams, English, in the finals. Now you're looking on the other side as well, 1 team is English in there.
Yeah, look, I think one thing we haven't done is to actually look at these UEFA, rules to the T, But I did read that, English teams can only have a max of 5 teams in there. So let's say Man United, of course, there's going to be an English winner in the Champions League. And if Chelsea or Man City, of course, they're going to finish in the... Well, if Chelsea do finish in the top 4, Man City, of course, they've won the title. Once, Man City or Chelsea win it and Chelsea finish in the top 4, as 5th spot opens for a team that's going to come in. And that could be the team that's sitting, on 5th place.
Yeah.
And with Man United winning the Europa and they are also in the top 4 of the Premier League, doesn't mean that there's going to be a 6th spot. That 6th spot goes to an Austrian team, because like I said, that the reason why UEFA are trying to increase the number of teams to make it 36. 36, yeah. They're trying to make it 36. So they're adding 4 more teams.
Oh, yeah.
They're adding 4 more teams. So they're trying to make it 36, yeah. They're trying to make it 36. And with that, they're trying to give automatic spots to champions from around the other countries in Europe, because some of these teams, I mean, like for the example, the Austrian team, an Austrian team would in general have to play in the playoffs of the Champions League. Even though they're the champions of the Austrian league, they still need to play in the playoffs in order to get into the main competition. So should an English team win the Europa League, which is probably Man United, and should Chelsea, get into that top 4 spot, and Man City win it or Chelsea win it, that 6th spot opens up for an Austrian side to automatically qualify. So it doesn't really give Liverpool the clear off. They still need to finish in around 5th place if they really want to compete in the Champions League.
Oh, well, that's a lot that OB.KNOWS just gave us there. But don't forget that it's a lot, isn't it?
Sorry.
But think about the Europa League as well, OB.KNOWS, because now that's not the only European competition available. Still also Europa League football, which means if that 5th spot is taken, that means the 2 teams below 5th spot now go on to go play. And the reason why we're saying this is because there's so many big coaches in the Premier League, and all of them will be looking to play continental football, not just for the benefit of playing midweek, but the benefit that financially it brings with it. And playing in the Premier League, meaning that you get a little bit more TV rights than your teams around the around the world, around European football. I mean, we saw France lose a TV deal that was worth billions, but they're still playing. But if you look at the situation right now, English sides, are getting so much money. I mean, it's like all of them are eating oil money at this point because they're getting so much money from just the straight up game money and the TV deal money. So let's go to the website and see what's happening there in terms of this weekend. So OB.KNOWS is going to get us ready. He's going to put us where we need to be because right now we are there at Serie A, so we're going to navigate. Let's go soccer. Let's go Europe. Let us go to England. Let us go to the Premier League, not the Championship, and then let's scroll down. So as you can see, what OB.KNOWS is trying to say is that those top four, so Man City, Champions League final, Man United, Europa League final, Leicester City at home, Chelsea, Champions League final. So the top three of the top four teams stand a chance to win continental competition. So which means that what OB.KNOWS is saying is that the fifth spot will then go down to a Champions League side, with the sixth spot going to a team from another country. That means Tottenham Hotspur sitting in sixth and Liverpool sitting in seventh might find themselves playing Europa League football if things go down that way. But looking at your teams in 8th, 9th and 10th, well, they'll have to watch from a distance, like your Arsenals, who basically watched from distance as Unai Emery did what he wanted with them. So as you can see, that's the top four at the moment. Let's see the fixtures for the weekend before we make our bets. Right, this I was looking right now. Leicester's facing Newcastle, with Leeds versus Tottenham Hotspurs. Are going to be a very interesting one again. And then there's Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace, with Man City versus Chelsea. A lot of people saying this is going to be a preview to the final. So we're going to watch this, and from this we can make our bet as to who will win the final. But if you remember this kind of dynamics with English football, when Liverpool lost to Chelsea, or lost to Man City in the FA Cup, they went on the next weekend and beat Chelsea a whole 3-4-0. So you're looking at a result that this result might actually be showing you the opposite of what's going to happen in the final. Then Liverpool's going to face Southampton, visit for Danny Ings to Anfield once more. And then there is Wolves versus Brighton, Aston Villa versus Man United, West Ham versus Everton, and then Arsenal will be facing West Brom, and Fulham will be facing Burnley. So OB.KNOWS, can we put the website away, get ready to go talk about Europa League football, then we'll come back to make our bets. So let's take a break. We'll be right back.
You are watching Super TV, Open View, channel 150.
Love to play?
Racing with my triples, yeah. And the wins, and the 10
Don't miss out on your favorite instant and live games this week. Catch Let's Play every day of the week at 2:30 p.m. only on Super TV OpenView channel 150.
Evolution Games presents Speed Baccarat, the fast one, just 48 seconds from cards dealt to payout. Yes, Baccarat, the fast one. Izinto is the quick fast. Watch us play Speed Baccarat on Super TV channel 150 on OpenView, or SMS Super TV to 30978 and play it yourself.
You're locked into Super TV. Only on OpenView channel 150.
Welcome back to Mo Sports. Now, if you're just joining us, we are very late. Bare olata.
Yeah.
Kastona barutinya lata. Or it's lata mfethu. Khalo le kae mfethu. Wetsang ke 1 o'clock on a Friday. You should be getting ready for the weekend. Just like we are, because right now we're talking all things football here on channel 150 on your Open View decoder, Super TV powered by Super Bets. And this is Mo Sports, if you didn't know. And my name is Mo. OB.KNOWS is joining me too. And we're talking all things football. Now let's give you the Mo riddle. If you don't know what the Mo riddle is, it's a piece of trivia we give to you so we can test your football knowledge. So you can read it for yourself while I give you the number where you submit your answer. The number is 071 621 4746. Now, you can note that number down, save it under Super TV, and you can also send us a message to all your favorite presenters and for your Super Beats, where you can tell the DJ, you rock, bro. But right now, it's time for us to talk about continental competition. Well, before we go to the Europa League, I just wanted to address the Champions League, because Obi knows that game played after most sports on Wednesday, so we cannot neglect to talk about our thoughts around Real Madrid versus Chelsea. I mean, the Chelsea fans were here hearing me say that it's going to be a 0-0 draw. Guys, get toes like this, fingers like this. I even had my dog sitting on the couch. All of us were like this. We're like, they must not concede. They must not. Then there is Kai Havertz. Obi knows what a goal, attempted goal from Kai Havertz.
Look, I did say, looking at what he did against Crystal Palace, against Fulham rather, in the weekend prior to the game against Real Madrid. I mean, it looked like he was definitely going to start, and I'm very happy that Thomas Tuchel actually went on and played with him, because he went on to show his class as a striker, because that's not the position that we know him to play. We know him as a much more creative player playing behind the striker, but right now he's the man up front, replacing Timo Werner. And actually now he's also giving Werner some rest, because now we can focus on Werner just running the defense ragged. Someone else can focus on the goal scoring. So I do think that Chelsea have maybe got it right. In terms of who they want to play up front and how they're going to go about it next season. But I still do think that Thomas Tuchel has a lot more things he's going to turn around and touch on when as his tenure goes on at Chelsea. But what a performance from Chelsea again. Although Real Madrid, let's be fair to them, they didn't really give the best foot forward. I mean, yes, they struggled with injuries, in the first leg. Second leg, they had Sergio Ramos in there, a much better Eden Hazard as well, a player who showed he gave an incredible back heel, in the weekend before the Chelsea game, and everyone was raving about it like he's going to be a game changer in the Chelsea game, but it was really unfortunate for him. And congratulations to Chelsea. I mean, it's something that I expected. I expected Chelsea to get in to the final, but not a 2-0 win against Real Madrid. I mean, what a way to do it.
I'm pissed off for two reasons. Number one, the price boost I missed out on. I could have had 2-0 and I would have had like 3,000 rand in my pocket right now if I got that price boost correct. My problem is that Zinedine Zidane is having the Klopp syndrome, where he picks the wrong team at the wrong west time. Sergio Ramos was fine on the bench, dressed in black with a mask, texting Ronaldo saying, hey bro, do you think I'm going to get a fifth title like you? That's what we wanted to see. Now you're playing this Sergio Ramos who's been out in injury. You're playing Militao off where he was playing initially, and that's what got you to this point. I mean, we've seen this with coaches. I saw it with Mauricio Pochettino with Tottenham Hotspurs. I mean, Lucas Moura got you to the final against Liverpool, then you bench him against Liverpool. You end up losing that final. Then you look at a whole Jurgen Klopp who's been benching the wrong players, mixing them up, and that's where he's sitting right now fighting for top four. And you're looking at Zinedine Zidane last night, on Wednesday afternoon, who got it completely wrong. He got it completely wrong. I looked at the two team sheets and I thought to myself, wow, the audacity. Just 3 attacking players, and then the rest of these guys are defensive-minded, with one player who can play passes from deep. I mean, Thomas Tuchel got it so correct that if he wrote that exam with his sleep, he could have put the team together and go to sleep and wake up, 2-0, okay, let's go. That's how good he got it, Obi knows. That's how good he got it. The combination, Obi knows. But let's just say Kante. Guys, if Kante doesn't get the Ballon d'Or, I know, Buffett. I'm walking to Europe. I have to ask them, Buffett. This guy was just dynamic in that game. That guy created both goals. He tackled everyone. At some point, just watch the highlights. I mean, that second goal, he fights for a header with Benzema. He's just too much. He's just too much. No, whatever Kante's eating, Kante's wife, whatever he's eating, please send it to Africa. We need it. We also want to be like that guy. He's too much, bro.
Isn't Kante's wife white? So I don't think.
I don't know. Maybe she's giving him mush and it's killing him. It's pushing him, boy. Maybe she's giving him kheu. He's out there. He's pushing. But let's carry on and let's move on and talk about Europa League football now. The final in the Europa League looks as follows. Obi knows he's very excited about this one because Arsenal went to go look at Unai Emery. I'm sure they were reminiscing. Oh, remember when he was the coach? Oh, I remember. And he was like, aye, man. I'm God.
Nah,
he's in the final now.
He pulled up like good evening.
He was like, good evening. He's in the final now, so we know. Who are the two teams in the final and how do they make it there?
Yeah, it is Man United and a Villarreal. A Villarreal side, of course, I personally thought they would do a lot better than what they're doing in terms of league football. I thought, coming from last season, they got themselves into, European football. I thought they might just, go a step higher, trying to chase for that Champions League football. But it's not meant to happen this season. But it's okay. I mean, they've made it to the final of the Europa League. So it's still a chance for them to, get themselves into the UEFA Champions League. But I do have to say that, Arsenal themselves, they were non-existent. I mean, in the past two legs of this tie, they were completely non-existent. And I think yesterday was the culmination of what has been going on at Arsenal for the past years. And we're seeing that there's no urgency in their game. There's no one who is hungry enough to get us. I mean, all they needed was one goal. One goal to go through.
This is Arsenal.
This is Arsenal. One goal to go through, and they couldn't, do it. And Mikel Arteta as well. I mean, questions have to be raised about him as well. I mean, the only player who was alive in that game was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and that was the player he took off when he needed someone who was going to score him a goal. So I don't know if, Mikel Arteta, I don't know if he's going to keep his job at Arsenal. A lot of Arsenal fans are already angry. They're saying that that FA Cup win was a fluke. It is in the past distance. It's in the memories. I mean, yes, they've won it like 14 times now, so it's not something they intrigued about. They wanted to see better performances, and that's not what Arsenal fans, are saying. They don't want to win league titles. They don't want to win cups. They just want to see something happening on the field. They want to be motivated by the hunger, and that's one thing that Arsenal don't have, and that's why I understand when they're going up against the Stan Kroenkes of this world who are not really investing a lot into this team. The fans are even assuming that he doesn't even know that the team was playing yesterday. So those type of things. I do think that there's a change that needs to happen at Man United. There's a change that needs to happen at Arsenal in terms of ownership, and once those things happen, I think that the Premier League will get back it's proper golden boys. It's proper teams that were at the top, the top four that we know. So I do think that the ownership needs to change, and should that change, then maybe performances on the field will start changing for Arsenal specifically.
All right, so we're out of time. Let's try to give you the Mo riddle before we let you go on your way. So the answer to the Mo riddle is, I hope it's not Arsenal. Boom! Knowledge Musona.
Yeah.
Now, #Penyo submitted the correct answer. I think he's watching Mo Sports just to see if he was right. I feel you were right. In fact, so I feel like, you are the one. You know your football very, very well. And all I can say to you is you're very knowledgeable, like OB knows. Now, thank you for joining us on today's episode. We just want to say to you, your support has been quite amazing in this world of Super TV and Super Bets. Now, make sure you keep joining us tomorrow and on Sunday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. here on channel 150 Super TV, powered by Super Bets.
You are watching